Money and freedom. We're at this section now. Financial security is needed. Where
Mm,
are my skills most needed so I can secure the security to move
mm,
freely?
mm.
I think that's something we all are struggling with.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And again, this is where like I feel like the Guardians coming back in and they're just saying like we know it sucks. It fucking sucks to sometimes to feel that um the weight of like being in kind of the weight of being in a physical body and like having to move around and like eat food and like sometimes it can feel like a lot.
Yeah.
Um and the burden of responsibility that's very real and some of it's perceived is um it's a lot, and so understandably there's this concern of am I secure enough? Are
Mhm.
my kids, my loved ones, are we safe? And and like me, like as Alex, I'm like saying like how do you know? But they're saying like from the higher perspective, um to ask like do I have a roof over my head? In
Yeah.
like a very practical way. It's crazy to say, but it's like the things that we think that we need um are usually not what our actual needs are.
Hmm.
Um, and that sometimes the feeling of insecurity can come from the things that we think that we need,
Right.
but we don't actually need them to survive, or to feel secure. Um,
Yeah.
So for Alexandra, it's like really coming back to like what are my actual needs right now? Like I have food in the fridge. Um, of course there are things that I want, but I'm able to separate those from the things that I need and the thing and like really coming back to remembering because sometimes the feeling of insecurity can just pop up out of nowhere, you
Yeah.
know? And you don't realize it because maybe thoughts have been percolating all day of like, oh, I really need to make sure that I get this for myself or for my kids or for um I need to secure that thing because it's we need that, and then you kind of leave it and you don't think about it. And then later in the day you feel insecure a little bit about it and you're like, where is that coming from? That's a weird feeling, but it's because that thought kind of got left and it wasn't really resolved of like, do I actually need that? Is it something that I really need? And I
Hmm.
keep saying this because it's so related to security, but um it's like an easy question. Like, do I really need this? And then think about where the need what is actually need for you, you know?
Yeah. I think right now with the world and everything going on, it's just so unpredictable.
It is.
Like there's talk of flooding, like
Yeah,
whole North America is going to look a little different,
yeah, yeah,
possibly.
yeah,
So needing a need would be finances to make sure that if we need to move, if we need to drive, if we need to fly, we
mm,
can get to where we need to go
yeah, yeah,
and still survive.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So is there any advice on finances that you want to give her?
Mm. So in the case of, a large event,
Hmm.
you will be informed before you need to move, and you will go to the place that you need to go to be safe. Um, That's the first thing. If that
Okay.
were the case, you would know before and you wouldn't have to scurry. And the only thing that you need to do is to listen to the message when it calls, even if it doesn't seem like from the outside that it's because it might be early. Um, if that is does end up being the outcome.
Hmm.
Okay.
So we
Uh,
would just automatically, like, our lives would just go that way.
yes, you would get a message of some sort of like uprooting or some kind of relocation, and you would follow that.
Okay. So like an instinct, you mean by message?
A message could be like, "Hey, there's this opportunity to move here," or "Hey, I just got kicked out of my apartment."
Oh,
Uh,
gotcha. Okay.
yeah.
And then we do the relocate, and then wherever we end up is going to be great.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
The right opportunity will come in. You will receive somehow like a place. Maybe it's online you find, and you say, okay, I feel like this is the right place for me, and you'll have a few options, but the places that you're given will be the right places
Okay. Great.
for you.
And we'll have the finances for that.
Yes, yes, you won't have to worry about that. Finances won't even be an issue
Okay.
at that point. So,
Great.
yeah. If that is the timeline that plays out, yeah, you won't have to worry about that. The only thing that you will be doing is following that call.
So it's not a set point on the divine
No,
law that that happens.
not at this point.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I like that. I would I would
Yeah.
rather not have that whole chaotic
Yeah.
earth problem.
Yeah, don't and there's so much information um on potentials, and these are potential outcomes, but the percentage of them happening is small, but I think the ones that are the loudest tend to receive the most TV time or screen time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, um there is real, research to back the potential geologically of these shifts. Um, but there are many, many, many possibilities. Um, which again, this kind of goes back to the what we told Alexandra at the beginning of like with each choice, with each step, each experience, the emanations of possibility are constantly being like um sprawled out, if that makes sense. You have more possibilities with each thing that you do. So
Mhm.
it would be almost impossible to predict an event like that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Of course there's possibility. Of course there's things that you hear that maybe will stick to the ear because it awakens, mm, some curiosity, some desire, some even fear, in you, and you're like, oh, that could be a possibility, and so your mind kind of focuses around that. But in the actual scheme of possibilities to be realized, it's just a small point. Does that make sense? So to
Oh,
come
yeah.
back, yeah, to come back to what is happening now, and again to go back to the trust of like
Yeah.
their guardians here, you will receive a message in the case that that happens, and otherwise just enjoy the
Enjoy the life.
experience of the ride, and you'll have what you need. And that's the message for Alexandria regarding this point, essentially,
Oh,
is
great.
you'll get what you need when you need it. Of course, it's okay to think and want about those things, but just know that you're doing it, and you don't, it's not necessary to spend so much time on um, thinking about the things that you don't have yet, or where you aren't yet, or
Hmm.
if you can, or, you know, possibility.
Yeah, I mean, because it is a really difficult time being a human and dense and eating and paying for the groceries. It's crazy here in Canada
That's,
right now. Um, it would be a really big relief to have like a savings or
mm,
have a little nest egg.
yeah.
Is there
Mm,
any advice on that?
mm,
Or like what would be her next little step break from the present moment she is in?
yeah. Yeah.
Because we got to go baby steps, right?
Mm. Yeah, the first thing, again, this is Alex that's like kind of saying like, what are you sure about this? But they're saying like, um, I always do that. It's like, are you really, that's your fucking answer? But okay. But okay, I'm just gonna let myself out of it. They're saying like small little like like it's like small little things that like $100 you just put into like a little account or something. Um there's also money that she has invested that will be helpful at some point as like a little nest egg, like a launch pad, to move on to the next small thing. But again, it's like not focusing so much. If the money's not there right now, then it's just not there. And it means that there's other things that are kind of taking center stage. Because money is a tool, just like anything else. It's a form of like ener it's a form of exchange for l- life and experience, right? So you have money, you get to pay for an experience, you get to go to the amusement park, you get to ride the roller coaster, you get off of it and you leave and you're like, "Oh my God, that was amazing," you know?
Right.
That was an experience that you, in exchange for your time to get that money, you went to give it to that person so you could ride that roller coaster. Somebody else that decided to go to the beach that day didn't work the day before and went to the beach and they said, "Wow, that was such a beautiful experience. I got to go see the beach today." Do you see what I'm saying here?
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not about why is money not coming in. It's what am I choosing to do with my time and with um my energy, you know? And neither are wrong. You can choose, but somebody, it depends on what fills the inner container um at any given stage or point or day or you know the list goes on.
Yeah.
So
Now, as we fill the container,
mm,
more experiences will become opportune.
say that again.
Like as we fill our container with these experiences and we're like
Yeah,
loving our life and we're just being
yeah,
present,
yeah.
does that get the ball rolling for bigger and more expansive experiences?
What what they're saying is sometimes you just have to jump with things. If there's something that you want to do, you just have to take a leap into that thing. Um, and do something maybe that you mm, I don't know, they're showing it as like chiseling like a wood carving or something
Oh,
and
yeah.
you have to like go out into the garage every day and like chisel the wood.
Hmm.
Um and then you get to carry it to the the showroom or like the place where you would showcase it and be like, look what I made, and somebody's be like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like, can I give you my money that I've, went to, um, shovel snow for, and I'll give you this energy that my shoveling snow energy, and you can take um, my wood carving energy. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
the exchange. Um,
Okay.
So looking at it like that, you know what I mean? Of like if something is your craft, then you're spending your time out in the garage carving away, you know? And then when you meet someone, then that exchange is like, "Oh, I want some of your, you know, if it's quantum healing, you're facilitating sessions. I want some of that energy. I'll give you some of my, you know, changing oil energy."
Yeah, okay. That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
And people I've been told, focus on the experience of things, but that
Mm.
didn't really that elaborated it very much. That was great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And this kind of ties into another question about these affirmation cards. I there are some people that have a lot of money in the world.
Mhm.
And I guess that's just their path. Like I don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Like here we
Mm.
are, we're like doing our due diligence for we
Yeah.
are the mediums, right? We are doing the connecting.
Sure. Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
would financial security, would more financial flow throw us off the path that we're on right now? Like, why do spiritual people have such this thing?
Mm. Mm. So again, it kind of goes back to that the concept of an energy exchange,
Mhm.
and nothing is for free on earth. And so in the process of acquiring of using energy, let's say, to acquire, be it money, material things, there is mm, how can we say? The energy is going to those things, into those material things, and it's not going so much into the connection between, like we were saying, that energy flow between others, between people.
Yeah.
Um, it's not going into another person, and so it it's almost kind of like wasted in a
Oh,
way. Like maybe it gets kept by the person, that energy, like the good energy, or maybe it just doesn't even get generated. Um, that's kind of where like the idea of like NPCs or like um I don't know, even like some of the talk about like cloning, like we were talking about, there is this like hollowing out essentially of like the soul, or as if the soul is disconnected in a way from the body.
right.
Um, or it's very weak. So somebody can
Oh.
still have a soul, but they're like it's not embodied, and it might seem like from the outside like it could be a good experience. I mean, not obviously not having a soul, but like the money and things like that. But if the work isn't being done to kind of anchor the soul into the body because the energy is going to other places, um it creates some imbalance, you know, and it doesn't mean that it's like a bad way to experience Earth life. Like there's so many different ways. There's like the most, you know, um soul embodied people, and then there's people that really like are just not connected at all to the reality of their soul being there. And so the soul hasn't completely descended down into
Mm.
the body. Um these kinds of people that don't have this sort of embodiment, um they almost act, and again, this is me, Alex, being like, what the fuck are you saying? But they almost act as like animals. Um,
Oh,
like
and
their
that,
processing even is like very like, what do I need to fulfill this, you know, mm, I need food. Okay, now I need this. Okay, now I need like it's not that experience of ecstasy is very difficult to have, or of like interconnectedness or of like bliss. Those kinds of experiences become more challenging if the soul is disembodied. And I guess a good indication to kind of like bring it full circle is like if somebody is like obsessively going after money or obsessively going after like sex or um and we mean in a disembodied way. We don't mean like,
yeah,
uh, or um going after material things or like anything that is mm, how can we describe it?
I feel like a greed or like a
Yeah,
gluttony,
yeah.
gluttonous.
All of those things, absolutely. Those things that don't consider or prioritize at a certain point, because as you kind of move through life, the connection of or the understanding of oneness and interconnectedness almost becomes like an essential part of the philosophy. But for somebody that doesn't even have that awareness, um, yeah, these actions become very animalistic and it's very difficult to access the some of the most beautiful feelings and
Yeah.
experiences that
Oh,
exist. Yeah, especially for humans that have the capacity to experience them. So, um, that's what's happening a lot of the times with money on a larger scale for people that have so much money. Um, and it's not a test. It's not to say that like, oh, those people are here because, we should feel bad about not having money or like that's just the way things are. It's like, no, it's literally just the dynamic of the earth and the expressions, the various like myriad expressions of what reality in material form can look like. Um, but
hmm,
that's the exchange. That's the payoff. So, um,
okay. Oh,
I
that
think
makes a lot of sense. That explains it really well.
yeah. Yeah, and every soul chooses what they want to do, and then as they go on and experience through life, they make more choices and kind of form and build their own reality, and none of it's wrong. But there's just a different perspective from up high that they kind of see what really like the experience was for. So it's not that they, are doomed or damned to hell. It's just the experience that they've chosen to participate in.
Okay. She also wanted to know about book research.